Hello, hello, hello.
I was pretty shocked that somebody would do that in open court.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and play it from this point. 5 minutes, 11 seconds.
This demand for dismissal before I rule on it.
I'm objecting to your mischaracterization of forum shopping. That's reprehensible, and I don't think you do that.
You already admitted to it. That's okay.
No, I did not.
Beyond that. So,
I'm saying that the law requires...
okay, so it sounds like you don't have anything else to say. Have a seat.
No, I didn't.
I said have a seat.
Yeah.
I said have a seat. Anything by the city. In response to the demand for dismissal by this, what's his name, Kim Blandino.
No, Your Honor, the city received a copy of the motion yesterday, so unfortunately the opposition is very brief, but perhaps maybe that's...
Well, Mr. Blandino did a thorough job with his analysis, so, it's easy to rule on based upon the brief, but I wanted to see...
This is the case in chief.
You have this
It's a very brief version of it, Your Honor, simply that...
And Federico is the star witness.
In this case, in terms of the trial being continued, the city absolutely disagrees with his characterization of this. The prior trial said he had been continued over his objection. He had every right to go to trial on that day if he chose to. Instead, he made arguments that he wanted only one specific judge, and so that after hearing all that...
Objection. There was nothing on the record on that. I object. He's citing facts not in evidence, and in fact, the evidence is contrary to what he just said.
All right, so, we're not really here to object. We give each other an opportunity to speak. It's like you're supposed to give me one. Have a seat. Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't have that really in front of me, so let's move on to that.
But as part of the city's opposition to the motion to dismiss, the city does not believe in any way that his right to a speedy trial has been violated, and furthermore, he has not been able to show in his his motion any prejudice in this case for the case being continued one time or even a second time. The case has been...
It's not in custody, obviously, so
Correct.
it's a big factor in my mind if somebody's in custody because their civil rights are
Any of the facts that he mentioned in his motion all pertain to other cases that have nothing to do with this case.
Any rebuttal of that, sir? You don't have to stand up if you don't want to.
I will. Okay. I do absolutely have it. Again, I want to continue that objection. Elmer Quinter was the person that was required to be sitting on the case. I have certified copies.
I don't even know who that is. You mentioned this name. I have no idea.
You mentioned the judge had a copy I gave to the city clerk.
You just tell me. I'm only considering what's attached to the briefs, but you can verbally express things.
He raised this thing of board shopping in a sense. You did it directly.
Well, listen, no. You mentioned having somebody else and that I shouldn't be here, which to me is kind of offensive. I have no idea who you are. We don't have any, if you were my brother or something like that, well then obviously I have some kind of bias probably, and if not, it would appear as though so, and I recuse myself. I have no idea who you are. I do now because of this hearing today, but there's no way to that, and it makes no difference. You're not a lawyer. So I just said, if you were a lawyer and you admit to forum shopping, that's not a good thing. But we're past that because you're not a licensed attorney in the state of Nevada, are you?
No,
Right.
I'm an attorney in fact.
Okay. Well, you were a layperson representing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Right,
right.
so this is
No. You got Michael Federico.
See, I think, that's what Joe Reed, the attorney outside the hallway, said. He thought you were sitting on this case. I think you might have represented some of my family members in a prior thing, because I remember Federico. I've got 4 brothers, and I think that I've got to do some blog dive here, because there may be a conflict that I'm not aware of to surprise somebody with the judge.
Just listen to me. I have no idea who you are until now. I have no knowledge of any history right now, so it makes no difference. I guess it'd be a good thing I represent one of your family members, but it's doubtful and it makes no difference. So anything else on the content of your demand for dismissal? All I want is rebuttal
or a continuance or implied so that I was ready to go to trial. Elworth Winter on the certified copies.
Is that a judge or is that?
I'm going to pause it right there real quick. 9 minutes and 49 seconds into it, we had heard from the defendant making some accusations that you would potentially
Law clerk spotted.
represent one of his main brothers. Is that right?
That's what he said.
And at the time, your response was, I don't know anything about any of that, and I don't know who you are.
Exactly.
Now, as you sit here today, do you know whether you've represented any of Mr. Kim Blandino's brothers?
I don't have any recollection. 99.99% positive I've never represented any Blandinos in the past. Primarily over my years that I've represented usually institutions like businesses, things like that, not individuals for any, whatever it is, domestic, criminal, whatever it is. I haven't ever done a whole lot of that. It was usually like, through insurance or through self-insurance.
There was much rejoicing.
Pop businesses, or through self-insurance.
So-
It was a no, and in my mind, I have no knowledge of it, no recollection, so it made no difference, just like I said there. It makes no difference. I don't know who you are. Let's move on to the trial.
Okay. And just for further background on that, in your capacity as a private attorney, is the majority of your practice civil law practice?
Yeah, I'm considered a civil litigator.
Okay.
A lot of telephone calls and paper pushing and type.
Okay. And civil being distinct from criminal, right?
That's correct. I did very little criminal.
Okay. Like this case here today would be a criminal case.
Criminal is when the state is bringing charges as opposed to civil where, Mr. A and Mrs. B are pursuing each other for something. That would be civil.
Okay.
It's when the state is not directly involved.
Great.
The hell?
We'll start the video again from that point, 9 minutes and 49
There
seconds.
we go.
The referee or something like that?
Yes, from what I've been told, only what I've been told, the traffic commissioner, that's still listed on the paperwork. You cannot surprise somebody, it violates due process to surprise somebody with a surprise judge.
Let me
You
just
may
cut
not have a phone
Hold on, I
this
said, hold on. I said, Justice Court over, I've appeared in front of there on the morning of the murder preliminary hearing. There's no issue with counting. And over here, I'm sitting other places too, trespass, domestic violence. And here we are in traffic. And so I would suspect that if your position was right, I wouldn't have been filling in since 2001. So we're past that argument because your demand on that argument is denied. So let's keep going.
Just because some other people waive their rights to a possible disqualification issue does not mean I'm required to.
Listen, the record is noted, and it is denied this time, sir. So anything in response to the city's argument here today?
I demand that this court take judicial notice of this certified document, just got it yesterday, that shows that Elworth Winter was the one who will be presiding over the trial. This is certified. This is a court of record. Well, if I take this up to appeal to the district court, they do that appeal on the record, not what on oral pronouncements are.
Okay, but here's the deal. You made your record. No, I'm not going to. Your request is denied. Anything else on the substance of your demand for dismissal in response to the city's arguments against it?
You're totally discounting the possibility that there is a disqualifiable issue related to me due to representation by a relative or some other factor, and to merely presume and not to give me time, because as of coming in this morning,
Have a seat. You've already made your record. This is all being recorded, so that's good.
I know that.
We don't need to repeat it multiple times. It's already on the record. So anything else, anything new that you haven't said already, sir?
yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I've been waiting.
Yeah, I was just
And you got to
close.
drink water. I got
No problem.
Do we have some water?
You laugh?
Run around here. Go.
Yes.
That's fine. There's three
Sorry.
signs out there saying,
Listen. Stop complaining. Have a seat.
just stating.
I said stop complaining and just have a seat, please. Maybe some more. Anything else you'd like to say in response? Because I have the briefs, I've read the briefs, and I've heard you keep on repeating the same things. So, anything else?
I object to that mischaracterization.
Do you object? Go ahead and object all you want. It makes no difference. like you're finished?
No. If you're going to, it sounds like you're going to deny this, you want to rush the trial, you want to rush the judgment.
Rush the trial? You said you didn't have a speed trial. Now you're saying we're rushing it.
No, rush the trial.
No, just have a seat because you're not finished. You're not made up. Have a seat. You've already said your piece. You just said that you don't want to be rushed for the trial, and this was partly saying violating your speedy trial rights. That's impossible. Have a seat. Have a seat. Here. I don't try to listen to me. Listen to me. One more out person holds you in contempt. Okay, thank you. So, with that, I have the demand for dismissal case. I have an opposition. I looked at the demand for dismissal as being based upon issues with the judge, issues with being certain.
And now at that point, the Jeff's courtroom video cut out for a second, is that right?
I believe so, yes.
And then it picked back up a moment later?
It looks like that's what happened.
Okay, so we'll go to the next video file, which is on State's Exhibit 32 and entitled 28-08-2018_37-04. Yeah, absolutely, I can repeat that. The title of this particular digital video file is going to be 28-08-09-37-04. And it is a .avi file. I'm going to be opening up that digital video file right now.
Who knows? I mean, anybody can speculate all day long. I've been practicing law for a long time, and I've been in judgment court.
Here we have that particular video up on the screen. Does this appear to be the continuation, minus maybe a few seconds of coverage?
Sorry, it looked like it wasn't moving. I'm not sure if it was still or not.
Okay.
But I think it's a
This
continuation.
video.
Just I don't think anybody was
You're
moving.
right. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention.
Kim changed his shirt in the middle of lunch recess, so now he's wearing his typical suit and ascot, for those wondering.
All right. Playing that digital video file now.
Who knows? I mean, anybody can speculate all day long. I've been practicing law for a long time, and I've been in judgment court for a while. So I deny that part of the motion, because I don't know this individual. At least it's not in my brain right now as we sit here today. There's no prejudice, despite all the outbursts that you made or speaking to me. Because I don't care, because it happens a lot. So, as to the religion, this court makes no difference what religion you have, or if in fact you have no religion. It makes no difference.
Cheers, Jeremy.
As the judge, hear cases on the merits. I don't care about anything else. And frankly, it doesn't really bother people cut me out, get excited, want to run around, go get drinks of water, interrupt when I'm talking. It makes no difference, because ultimately, I rule on facts. And that's all I'm going to rule on, just like in this case. So that part of the motion is denied. As far as the speedy trial issue, there's none. You're not in custody. There's no prejudice. If there was any prejudice or any ambush to you, you wouldn't have been able to have time to prepare this 11 to 15-page brief, which took me some time to review. So if there had been any kind of prejudice to you, definitely you would not have had time or any kind of ambush. As far as speedy, I believe that the case is being heard on time. I'm not sure if you switched your position because you just told me that I'm rushing your trial after you put a violation of speedy trial rights. And listen, I'm still talking, but it makes no difference to me. I don't see the prejudice. I can see you're well prepared, and you speak a lot more than most speech attorneys that come before me. So with that, the motion is entirely denied. We had a trial 9 o'clock. However, we're not going to throw you in the trial right this second. A little bit out of breath. You ran outside, you need some water. So we would trial it, so we had a trial after a couple more hearings are heard. I wouldn't have done that anyway, even if you asked for it. Shit, so that everybody else can have their cases before we do the actual trial. And don't tell me that you're not getting your speedy trial because you can't have a right this second, because a half hour from now is not going to affect your rights. Okay?
Can I speak?
No. Not until we do trial. Like I said, your objections have no effect on the ordinance. It was the motion that we just chose. So if there's anything else regarding the trial, we'll deal with that when you're in front of me in the trial. So with that, have a seat. How long do you think, how many cases do we have in front of us? We have two motions, and then we have trials? Two trials, okay. And how many, do you have, hold on a second, hold on. Do you have any witnesses here?
No, the other trial.
What about this? We have two. What about this one?
This one, we have witness for Blandino.
Who's that? Is he here now? Is he out here?
He's here.
Okay, okay. So, take ordinary course today, so don't leave. No, make no misunderstanding about what.
I'm asking if I can go up with this,
Go for where?
district court,
For what?
give an emergency stay on a normal basis, because you're not lying.
Listen, have a seat over there, and we're gonna have the trial today, just like everybody else gets their day in court. Okay? Thank you. All right, next.
All right, sir, so that video we just watched, did that appear to be the continuation of the first video?
Yes.
And what did we see happening there?
Well, he was making more arguments and also just simply arguing. It was more of, seemed like it was more delay tactics. In other words, you know, hey, well, the police officer's here, so let me digest this stuff and we'll continue this another day. Hey, I don't like you as a judge. I think you're representing my family, which I don't know why he would have a problem with that then. And let's continue this, even though in the document that I submitted to you, I requested a dismissal because my trial didn't come fast enough.
And so you ruled on his motion,
Yes,
you denied it,
yes, I believe I denied all parts.
okay?
I'm pretty sure.
And then it ended taking a break or continuing the trial. What was happening?
Like I was discussing earlier, there's some other cases. It looked like it was a pretty light load, or maybe there was more of the general public was in earlier. I don't recall. There was that day, at that time when this video started, it looked like it was a very light load, and it sounded like there was a few other matters to hear, and then there would be, I think I said, 2 trials. So we just assume some really quick things so that we can get and take time and focus in on the trial is going to happen, and especially now the way the foundation's been laid on what I'm going to expect with this trial after all the time spent with the one motion.
So you take a break to be able to get the other defendants, witnesses, and attorneys' cases done and out of the courtroom?
Right, there are subpoenaed witnesses, sometimes people from out of state, you have traffic officers in there that could be doing something better than just sitting there. So you want to get cases done. In other words, if there's another trial set, but you've been told by the defense attorney and the city that the case is resolved and it's not going to be a trial, they're not going to take that plea, and then the witnesses can be excused, and they're not just
Perfect.
basically stuck in court all day. It's just, it's common sense. It's just a matter of, that's what judges normally do.
Okay. Your Honor, may we approach? Thank you so much.
Yep. Noise making device. Okay, so while that's doing that, let's get everybody caught up. For those who don't, hello everybody, it's Artie of Artie's Corporate Fiction. I knew that this was going to be today, the day 1 of the trial, but I had work, so I had to rush home to do this. Again, please go like and subscribe to Our Nevada Judges. I have actually already become a member of their channel on my personal YouTube account, and you should too. It's the least I can do for them being able to provide this great content. So we are at day 1 of the trial. If you haven't been following along since this morning, they had already gone through jury selection and the opening arguments, as well as the first state's witness, which was a receptionist. I can't recall if I think she was a receptionist for the Federico, and now Federico's on the stand. He is the judge at the center of all this and is a star witness.
You're not to infer anything from that or consider that at all in deliberating this case.
All right. let's hear what she said actually.
Part of that video that have been redacted by the parties. You're not to infer anything from that or consider that at all in deliberating this case.
All right. So we're going to go to the title as follows. Underscore 0-47-04M.md4. At this time, I'm going to play this particular video.
City versus Kim Blandino, case number S/1152672, A, B, C, D, and E.
Time and date set for trial is the city court. Thank you. City ready to proceed, Mr. Correa?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank
It is ready to proceed.
All right. So, let me ask, is there any witnesses that are going to testify in this trial that need to remove themselves from the court?
Okay, just pausing right there, 22 seconds into this footage. Does this appear to be the continuation after your break in handling the other cases where you pick up on Mr. Blandino's trial on that same day, August 28, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Playing it from that point.
Until they are called to testify by either the city or the defense. Anybody? Yeah. He's the trial officer, he's going to be first up, right? Is he going to be first up?
The proof of is the only witnesses that
Who else we got here?
That's it. These are probably no further tax options.
You guys here early? All right, it might be a little bit, so, yeah. If you want to go and do something else, I won't, if you want to come back 10, 15 minutes, I'm just saying you guys are stuck here because I see your faces, so I'm not going to issue a bunch of work. All right. Okay. Any other, just want to let you know, you mentioned that you were not going to be public, saying that I'm great, you were fine to me, but if you don't want to stand during this trial, you don't have to. It's not disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. You're not an attorney. You can sit, stand, do it, especially if you don't have any other issues.
You didn't ask me around there.
Well, I'm talking to you, it's kind of funny. It seems like you want to engage me because I try to be polite, I try to be as nice as I can be, especially the people that represent themselves, and then you smack me down with these comments that don't have anything with what you said. I mean, I guess you're looking to pick a fight with me because you're looking to get me recused. It's not going to work because I think I have a reasonably good temperament, and I can handle the BS that people throw at me sometimes, at least to a certain threshold. And then when I get too much, then I threaten with contempt. So I'm just kind of letting you know, it was my fault. Okay, fair enough? Yes?
Yes,
I appreciate that. So, now, is the defense ready to proceed?
I have if I proceed with trial, I have you correctly.
Well, you have to proceed with trial.
If I
Hold on, remember the rule. When the judge is speaking, he's not listening to other people. That's what we learn as lawyers. The judge speaks, I shut up. And I know to shut up as the person in front of the judge. I'm in front of judges all the time. Because he's not listening. He's just going to get upset with me. And that would kind of suck. So, with that being said, go ahead.
If I were to go forward with trial, I would have been deemed by the court. I've read thousands of cases of law. I was in the law library every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year that it was open. I read more case law probably than most lawyers there are. And I know that if I were to acquiesce to this trial, it would be considered a waiver. All that they would say was, well, we find out later that this, I think your name is Federico, he's up in the state.
Michael Federico. F-E-D, not Federico. F-E-D.
Now I know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Federico. Now, all they would say is, well, after the fact, we found out there was no disqualifying factor, therefore it was harmless error. But the point is, I lose my legal issue then. So therefore, I am not going to trial today. I'll go to trial. If you bring a list of whether it's
Here's the thing, there's two choices. You either go to trial, or if you're not appearing at trial, then there's a bench warrant issue. Then we basically remand you to reset the trial because you missed it. You're here, we're going to trial. If you walk out and don't put up a defense, well, then that's your choice. One notice, you're here today. There's no civil rights issues and by the way, I do civil rights cases too, so there's no civil rights issues here. You are here, you have a whole bunch of documents, you spoke a lot more than I thought you would, and you kind of surprised me with
See you later, Rare Peach.
dismissal, although you argued outside of the motion. That's just fine. Yeah, I deal with this kind of situation. So, you're not ready to proceed, I believe you are. So over your agreement, over your objections, it's all noted on the record. We are proceeding right now. Anything else that's relevant at all, even remotely to this trial?
I object to the fact that you said I'm not ready to proceed. I'm ready to proceed if Elworth Winter were here. If Elworth Winter were here, I would proceed.
Well, you are ready to proceed. It's not relevant who the judge is at this point. So you're ready to proceed. We're done with that. Great. Now, city may call the first witness.
City calls the stand Lloyd Faulkner.
Where is he's right there?
I object to this witness. I had no. I asked for discovery and I have I have not gotten a list of this witness. I haven't gotten his name and address.
Okay, hold on a second. Do we have a copy of the complaint information?
You know, there should be
Hold on.
There should be a copy of the citation. Mr. Faulkner is listed as the trooper who issued the citation, providing notice that this would be a witness at the trial.
And
I'm entitled to his name and address by law.
hold on.
I object. You cannot take the stand.
Well, the address wouldn't matter. You see,
Oh, yes, it does.
Because you don't subpoena him, because guess what? He's here for cross-examination. So, stop talking right now. Let me take a look at this. So basically, hey, I don't like raising my voice to all this, so clear it out.
Sorry.
Please.
I apologize. I was raised in a time when it was tough.
So is that. So, hold on.
Thank you, Cameo.
All right.
And thank you, Irene, for the $20 super chat.
All we have is a traffic citation, right? And possibly the webcam coverage, maybe?
That is correct, Your Honor. We'll provide him for this one.
Yeah, this isn't a criminal matter like, domestic violence or DUI, and you got police reports, and it's a citation that was issued to just a traffic code. We're in traffic court.
I object. I need to make a record as to why this thing is objectionable. I don't have.
What else do you need to say for the record, sir?
He's still required to have the name, full name and address, which I only have a first initial and name. The address is important because if someone wants to do a private investigation of the individual to see if he's a chronic drunk or alcoholic or have any other things that impinge or tend to impeach his credibility as a witness, I'm entitled to at least have the option to pursue that. That's what the whole thing is, about a list of witnesses and their address. I shouldn't have to have, do some kind of massive CIA or NSA thing to find out where this man lives. And the city attorney likes to fudge with the rules by saying his address is where he works at the highway patrol. If I tried to do that on a license and say my address was where I work, I'd be getting a ticket from the same trooper for not changing the address. You have 30 days in Nevada to change your address, and you can't put your work address on there. This is out of line. This witness must be disqualified.
Don't point the witness.
Okay, he must be disqualified. This is a surprise witness. I have had no chance to move. I asked him, is your first name Trooper? I said, well, that's a real unusual name. When I was 30 days ago, and I said, it's a real unusual first name, Trooper. He didn't correct me, trying to get his first name, and couldn't do it. I know you think this is traffic and it's minor, but this is criminal. I could go to jail.
I never, ever said traffic court is minor, and do me a favor and don't offend the judge sitting in traffic court by saying something like that. I actually take more serious than most people up here because I hear other types of cases too. It's really serious. You understand? You understand what I said on the record? Don't ever say this is minor or that I would think it was minor.
I thought he said it wasn't a real criminal matter or something like that.
But over your objection, you made your record, very good record for yourself. If in fact you were right, excuse me on that. Trooper M. Faulkner, and he's got his ID here. You're arguing form over substance today, and you have your arguments. Have a seat.
It says name.
I said, thank you. You just sworn in that? Well, you stand for it. Sorry.
I'm objecting to this.
No, you already objected. So,
Do you solemnly swear
Faulkner. Right. And over the defense objection as to this witness being a surprise witness and everything else is already said, city may proceed. Have a seat, sir.
Pause right there, 9 minutes, 24 seconds. That individual who just took the stand, is that the witness stand?
Yes, just like this is the witness stand.
Okay. And that individual was identified as Trooper Lloyd Faulkner?
It sounded like, I guess there was the individual that was sitting in the back that I thought might have been a traffic officer.
Okay. And does he appear to be wearing a Nevada Highway Patrol uniform?
It's a uniform, I can't tell, but I'm pretty sure it was NHP.
Okay. And Mr. Blandino had objected to not receiving the law enforcement officer's home address prior to trial. Is that right?
That's correct.
Is that something that ever occurs?
I don't believe I've ever heard anybody do that. Officers don't give their addresses for safety reasons. And it's very common for people to have their work addresses, whether it's, Metro or whether it's NHP or anybody else. To me, it was more of a intimidation, trying to get an address of a witness.
Okay. And so it sounded like you had, in looking at that issue that the defendant had raised, you looked at the citation that was issued. Is that right?
Yes.
And did you determine that it was that trooper that issued the citation and gave his name and badge number of the agency he worked for?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it back from that point.
Would you state your first and last name and spell your last name, please?
Lloyd Faulkner, last name Faulkner.
How do you employ him?
Nevada Highway Patrol. Lloyd Faulkner.
That's 2 L's?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, would you repeat that? How are you employed?
Nevada Highway Patrol.
How long you been with Highway Patrol?
For 10 months.
And what were you doing before you worked for Highway Patrol?
I was a deputy sheriff in Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin. How long were you a deputy sheriff in Wisconsin?
8 years.
I'm sorry, what's it? If I can draw your attention to March 8th, 2018, were you working for Nevada Highway Patrol at that time?
Yes, I was.
And what was your position at that point?
I was a trooper.
Okay.
I was a trooper of the highway.
Now, at any point, actually, let's not say anything, let's be more specific.
Thanks, Jason.
At 9:01 in the morning, were you in the area of US 95, just north of Jones?
Yes.
Is that located within the city of Las Vegas?
Yes, it is.
And what were you in that area?
I was on routine patrol.
At any point did you see
Hey,
a
Jason.
silver Nissan truck?
Yes.
What drew your attention to that vehicle?
The driver was holding a cell phone in his hand up near his face area. What's the objection? What's the basis?
My stating objection first is I'm not participating in this trial, but I'm
You can have a standing objection. Standing objection is fine. What about the testimony? You're not gonna do this for purposes of interruption, because that would be improper by an attorney and pro se attorney in fact. So you're not gonna do it to interrupt, because this is already an interruption. You say, objection, speculation, objection, calls for hearsay, objection, narrative, objection, qualification. That's the way we object in my court.
You're right.
That's the way I object in other people's courts.
I apologize.
That's what I'm okay, I'm just like,
I understand that, and you understand that, and you're right.
But you were to basis.
I would have been participating in the trial.
You're stating objections, are not going to be allowed in court. So again, what's the objection to?
I apologize, I'm not participating in this trial. I asked for clarification of his name because it appears on the witness issue.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just to get back on track then, so, what drew your attention to this car again?
The driver was, had a cell phone in his hand towards his face.
Is that's something that you...
I almost want to pause, but
I'm pausing
Okay.
right here.
Well, they are.
14 seconds. What are we seeing Mr. Blandino do now?
okay, good. They're gonna explain it.
He's participating, but then he's also protesting and the trial's going forward. In other words, he didn't move on from the fact that I, overruled his objection that it's a time and date for trial and your motion to dismiss is denied. So he's spinning this chair and
Mr.
doing it.
Blandino, I gotta be able to hear the witness.
I'm sorry, did I?
Go ahead.
I apologize.
At this point in time in the video, has he turned his back to you and the witness?
It appears so. I remember him kind of spinning and moving around in his chair because he's proceeding.
Honestly, that's contempt.
Is this a normal way to sit in a trial?
Absolutely not. I would never, ever do that as an attorney. Never.
Okay.
Never.
I'd say that's grounds for contempt.
From this point.
Basically, Blandino is being a disrespectful asshole.
I initiated a traffic stop on that vehicle.
And what happened after you made the stop?
I approached from the passenger side, met with the driver. Driver stated that his radio didn't work in his and he had the radio playing, held up to his ear so he could hear it.
And so for clarity then, that he was using the cell phone to listen to the radio?
Listen to the radio on his phone, music on his phone.
Okay, and just for that clarity, it's not that the radio was coming through the truck radio, it was
Correct.
just playing through.
But you didn't have earbuds or anything like that? He did not. You just had the phone up by his... Yeah.
What happened after that?
I asked the driver for his identification, which he presented me with an Arizona identification card. She also noted that he had Montana license plates on the truck.
And was there anything noticeable or significant to you about having Montana plates?
I asked him what the significance of the Montana plates were. He had told me that he was, prior to this, he had told me that he had received citations from North Las Vegas PD in the past. So I had a... For what? For having out-of-state plates? I believe so. Don't quote me on it, but I believe so. He actually did that? But he got... I can't exactly remember the fact, but there were some citations from North Las Vegas PD for some violations.
Your Honor, clarification?
Let's see if you can do that across.
No, I just...
I said, sit down, clarification across.
So, anything else that you noticed after you asked for...
Yes. While speaking with him, he had a number of things in the truck, papers, and I noticed his name on some envelopes with a Las Vegas local address on it. Which was...
I know I was located in...
They were on the front seat. It was a single cab truck, so they were on the seat area.
Just to make sure that I'm not misunderstanding, these were letters or items of mail?
Items of mail, yes.
And were these visible from where you were standing?
Yes, they were.
And you had mentioned there was an address on there with a Nevada address?
Yeah, local address. So what happened next? So based on that information, seeing that information and him admitting that he had North Las Vegas citations, that's where the resident, non-resident violations came in as far as registration and driver's license. Records check show that he doesn't have a valid driver's license. He just had the Arizona ID card. Insurance from any state? That's correct.
Did you discuss with him the insurance? Why wasn't the car insured? Or?
I asked for insurance, like I normally do, ask for people to provide me with insurance, and he couldn't provide me with any. I don't remember if he gave me an explanation or not.
What's reasonable?
Did he tell you how long he'd been living in this state? I don't recall.
Now, what was the end result of your, oh, I'm sorry, scratch that question for now. Do you see the driver of that vehicle in the court today?
Yes, I do.
And can you indicate who that person is and describe her in clothing?
He's standing up there in a suit and red tie, with a vest on, glasses.
And may the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
Because the record, yes, he actually stood up for him too.
Can I reflect the record that I just stood up out of courtesy just to speed up this,
I think your best still reflected the record.
just a courtesy.
Were you wearing body cam that day?
Yes.
Now, with the court's permission, the city will overcome this technical.
When did he go back there?
It's my fault.
I remember the city was doing this and doing this. He's got to make sure the defendant has a history too. That's the most important thing, the defense.
I'm sorry, what are we doing here?
Look at the body cam footage.
I object, this is not a matter of trial, I object of anything being introduced even as a pre-trial matter. I know I received that in discovery, but there was nothing to authenticate what this is here.
Are you using it right now as demonstrative evidence, or are you offering it as evidence?
The city will be seeking to authenticate it through the trooper in order to have it admitted as an exhibit.
Okay. So,
But again, for clarification, this is not a matter of trial, this is a matter of pre-trial authentication issue.
So as I understand it, Blandino just said that what they were dealing with was a pre-trial and not the actual trial.
Your Honor, it appears that the player might require administrator access to function.
who's the administrator? The outside administrator on the right?
I'm not sure if it's her, we have to have the IT guys do it.
Oh, I think they're about well, they're trying to show the traffic stop, I think.
Correct, I think the issue is the player. They need administrative permission to use this meeting.
Oh God! So now we're going to watch a video within a video within a video, a video within a video within a live stream. Oh boy.
You know, it's always a possibility.
He works in the state.
Because I think they're wanting to show the video of the traffic stop itself, which we're watching within a recording, which we're watching through a live stream.
You have a laptop with you that we can all look at it there?
I do not, Your Honor. Possibly my office could have one.
Hold on. It's time they set the trial, we're doing the laws, we're not going to delay this.
Which I'm watching myself, which I am then then you guys are watching my live stream of our Nevada judge's live stream. So much compression for days.
So just cut out the collateral banter, please, please.
Can I answer your question?
Have a seat. Have a seat.
I'm still having a hard time hearing you.
What is the space on the
Listen. You already made your record. So just go ahead.
It says, do you want this?
When I get irritated with unreasonableness, then I start speaking.
Apologize for interrupting. Apparently it says you want to allow the staff from the publisher to make changes to your device, paper.exe, and then it says, it looks like you just need administrative permission to allow the player to function.
I've noticed Blandino has been staring at the camera several times throughout this entire proceeding.
Your Honor,
You went out for that, you guys do so. I'll make sure you let me do
Yeah, we should get Law Talk with Mike to react to my reaction to our Nevada Judge's live stream of the trial, which is watching a recording of a previous trial, which is trying to watch another video within itself.
What was he doing?
layers.
What we're gonna do is, and the defendant remain there, sometimes we do this out of order, we're gonna take it to the
I
clinic.
understand that.
Okay.
I would have been a bench warrant, I've been arrested if I had been untimely like this. You're showing bias toward the city attorney's
If
position.
you had technical difficulty, or if you do, I would need the same courtesy. And you see, listen, your objection is noted, you don't like it, you don't want me to take anything out of order, have until the time, but your objection is noted. For the record, no. You can sit right there. You don't move over. That's your stuff, and no one's allowed to touch your stuff. We're gonna be right here because might be a little bit of time to talk for your cross anyway, but you're not fully correct. What? Okay. Any cases that we can call all waiting so we can move along judicial efficiency? Absolutely. Just stay from the room in case we need you back, sir, so we know you didn't. Obviously, I know you're not leaving because your stuff's here, so.
This is the adrenaline.
You have a copy today?
No, it's just,
You just wired?
trial, against the adrenaline, or attempted trial, pre-trial.
You know against mine too, I'm in trial, so I understand.
In fairness, I can barely hear what they're saying too either.
We seem to have a minute now, like according to note, but we have a World War II veteran in here, very pleased that brought with me. She fought Hitler, helped defeat Hitler, and Hillary. One with bullets, she didn't fire, but the other was balanced.
Yeah, well, this isn't part of the case, but I appreciate letting you know that it's another day out of work.
It's a great honor to have her here.
Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, it's Clifford Reynolds' birthday today, so wish him happy birthday. I think Marvel Girl is going to have a celebratory live stream right now at 6:30. So go ahead and wish him a happy birthday.
What are you here for? Video?
Yes, the reason why we're all here is due to a traffic case that Federico presided over involving Blandino.
I do have a few matters we can proceed with until.
Yeah, I'm saying what we're waiting for. Or needs to know what we're waiting for.
I believe we're waiting to see whether an IT person can get here in a fast manner.
Real fast, yeah.
The traffic case was in 2018.
I don't like this kind of stuff, especially when the defendants ask for continuance for saying they're going to participate, so make sure the people are here because my patience oh so much.
Understood.
Jassa, you're thinking of a different case entirely.
I object again to the point of bias. It sure seems like you're more favorable to the city attorney than
It doesn't matter to me if it's city, or if it's the county, North Las Vegas, or it's Henderson, right? It's all over the place. It makes no difference, and there's plenty of city
I'm saying
attorneys,
in reference to me.
DAs. There's none. I've given you a lot of leeway already. Trust me. Trust me. So.
All right, so, sir, we saw another break in the video, is that right?
Yes,
Appears there were some technical difficulties that went on for an extended period of time.
I think the screen you're looking at was the screen that was supposed to be showing the body cam footage from the officer. That's why you could hear us all talking or moving around, but you couldn't see anything. I remember it. Because the screen's blank and we're like, okay, we gotta get going, guys, in the city, hurry up. So that was most of the talking, hoping that the screen could suddenly start showing some body cam footage.
Ultimately, do those technical issues get resolved?
Yes,
And in the meantime, were you handling other cases?
It sounded like it. I think I was asking people in the audience, because you could see a little earlier people trickling in, group of people in the back. It's like, hey,
The law clerk behind Federico is a fan of the Vegas Golden Knights.
You know, wasting everybody's time. We want to move other cases along. You know, judicial expediency is what they call it. You're supposed to move the calendar along. And if this trial is delayed a little bit, a few minutes or even 10 minutes, then let's get some other cases heard so we get the people out. That's exactly what we do, and it sounds like that's what we're doing that day.
Okay. And then we'll go to the next video file. This is going to be entitled 28-08-2080-11-05-21.
Now, is this...
City versus Kim Blandino. Case number
Nope, this isn't.
1526728 A, B, C, D, and E.
All right, the city ready to proceed with the technical difficulties.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here we are, stopping at 11 seconds into the switch. Does this appear to be the continuation of Mr. Blandino's traffic trial?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Blandino disappeared, he needed to go somewhere, and I said be back by 11. He did show up, and then I told him to sit down, and he left again. Anybody have any representations of where this guy went? Okay, what's the city's position right now? Would you like to go look for him now, or are you asking the court for something right now?
The city's not inclined to hunt him down. I'm not sure where he went, Your Honor. So I can call him home and see if he's out there.
I was going to say we have to issue a warrant for his arrest, but David, since I'm a science person, can you go out and take a peek and see if he's out there and call him back in? Otherwise, we're going to have to remand him. Let him know he's got 1 minute from the point you speak to him and get his butt in here. If you see him out there, I just don't understand. Never had some instruction in my court for all the little good folks with respect for court. And then you have this, I just don't understand. Let me say traffic. Commissioner said it.
So here we are, 1 minute, 57 seconds into the footage.
I've got something to remember, I just filed an emergency.
It showed that the recording had been paused. Was that done internally? That's done with the JAF system in the courtroom?
I believe so.
Okay, and what did we see? The defendant just wasn't back in court?
I think I told everybody we'll take a little bit of time. It sounded like I said, let's be back at 11 o'clock. We really make sure we're on the same page here. We're going to keep moving along. Sounded like I said that the defendant, who's the defendant here, came back in for a moment and then disappeared again. And then apparently it was after 11 o'clock a.m. now, and we're trying to figure out what to do. And David is the name of, he was named the marshal in court that day because I recognized his face. I thought he's usually in there. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to, have people go out and arrest this guy. I mean, we're just trying to get this done. And so I sent out my marshal to go hopefully find him so we can bring him back in and let's get this over with.
And ultimately, now does Mr. Blandino come back into the courtroom?
I'm sure he does.
Okay.
I don't recall just sitting here, but I'm sure he does.
Okay, I'll play from this.
Somehow he got back in.
I'll play from this point in 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Basis, the girl hasn't been waiting for my file state
Well,
property.
we'll have a seat, we're going forward still. We're ready.
All I want is,
Hey, have a seat before I hold you in contempt. I don't want to do that. Sit down. Thank you. All right.
Ooh.
Do you have, we'll call the case again.
I didn't know. Oh, you were your father.
Yeah. Well, you did. I said sit down.
Ooh.
All right, and then the video picks up again right after that, is that correct?
I think so. He kept hopping out of his seat.
Okay.
I don't recall though.
Okay, we're going to the video file that is entitled 28-08-2018 _11-07
Are you kidding me? I said sit down, so stay seated. Do you understand this? Yes or no?
I understand.
You got something wrong with you, I think. Are you okay?
No, I'm gonna be in trouble. I've got a bad, high blood pressure and I need the water.
You shouldn't be running around in court. You've caused so much disruption in my courtroom today. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I exercise restraint. So cut out whatever the circus acts that you are performing. Show me your empty cups. Okay, just cut it out. Okay. Listen. You pull this stuff anymore, I'm going to hold you in contempt, and it'll be 25 days, and you will do it starting today. So cut it out. Straighten yourself out. No, sit right there. I said, cut it out. All right. Did you call the case? Did you at least call the case yet? That's not delayed. All these good folks are all waiting, and you're delaying the proceedings now, sir.
We're calling Kim Blandino, case number X01152672.
I want to make a comment after this.
Put your hand down, sir.
How many other people are on the table?
Leave it where it is. All right. So, where we left off is the city having problems, technical difficulties. So, where are we now? Because I obviously am losing patience.
I understand, Your Honor. The technical difficulties were resolved and it's ready to play.
All right.
Object. There's a possibility of tampering with that tape. There was an IT person in here. It's well known how Photoshop can be used and all kinds of tricks to manipulate things. So we have no chain of custody. We have an IT person.
So your objection is authenticity. No speaking objections in this courtroom is overruled. They haven't even tried to lay foundation. Have a seat. Thank you.
I object authenticity.
The court can confirm whether this is showing up on the screen.
I see something. It looks like a rooftop.
Oh, are we finally seeing the body cam? March 28th of 2018.
So, Trooper, I will be playing this and then pausing once you've had a chance to...
So the traffic stop itself occurred on March 28th, 2018.
Oh, sorry. And for authenticity purposes, I mean, I'm going to sit here and you can try to lay the foundation over the defendant's objection. And that I will look at it.
Trooper, so anyway, I will let this play long enough for you to view and be able to authenticate whether this is in fact.
Objection foundation.
Yes, Doc. You and me both. Shit. What came out in 2018? 2018, I was still living in my apartment.
How's that there? Do you recognize what you're seeing on the Trooper?
I do, yes.
What is it that you're seeing?
I was initially a traffic stop when he initially rapidly pulled over and started to get out of the vehicle.
So how is it that you recognize what it is that you're seeing?
It's my voice, my badge number, and so he just started my patrol vehicle.
Now, is this a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
And let's say we was to, and this is exhibit 1, this is body cam.
Yeah, 2018 was Infinity War. Endgame hadn't been released yet. Oh my god.
Objection. What's your objection without speaking?
Are we debating just this still photo?
So he's requesting to move the entirety of the video, so you can play the entirety of the video.
Entire video, what's your objection? I need a legal objection, not a sentence. I told you that many times.
Objection as to relevance. I have no idea what's on the rest of this tape. It could be dancing girls in 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that'd be a real problem if that's the case. Overruled at this point, this objection. Go ahead and do it.
And Your Honor, just for the record, the city did provide a copy of the body cam to the defendant, and he has had an opportunity to view it if he chooses to.
When was that?
2018 is when I got my 1080 Ti graphics card.
It was before today?
That That is correct.
That satisfies my.
So Blandino tried to get out of the car in the middle of the stop.
Mr. Blandino, can you see that? Is your...
And also, how is this not relevant to the case?
Is your video monitor working for this?
Oh, the video monitor. It stopped.
Just go ahead and go down to this.
It stopped right now.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same one.
But it's only so much lighter than the.
I'm trying to think of what games came out in 2018. Fallout 76, which was its own debacle.
All right, go ahead.
I do remember that part. Battlefield 5 also came out in 2018.
Would you like to continue your addressing, yes or no? Would you like to continue your addressing, yes or no?
I'll object to this, come on.
Yes, Marlon, Red Dead Redemption 2 was in 2018. You're right. God of War, that's right. God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, and I think you're right, Wazoo, Far Cry 5. I can barely hear what they're saying, guys. I'm sorry.
Your Honor, on indulgence, I need to reset. My program is really drifting left. I'm really can we go to the restroom?
No, you may sit down.
I understand.
And I object to remain seated. You guys got some issues, Bill? David, you can go ahead and help them out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Bear in mind, guys, we are doing an Inception base. We're watching a video of a live stream of a live stream. So, I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time. Video within a video, within a live stream, within a live stream. Yeah, that's Robert. That's what it sounded like to me, that he was originally pulled over for using his phone while driving. Thank you, Killing Time. And then I think the trooper eventually said that he didn't have insurance or a valid license.
International license of Israel is just
Okay. But is your video better than mine? Mine doesn't seem to be working very well. Can we turn this up again?
We can look at that. I will be up on my screen when I take a look and see what you're doing.
On this, these things come over and we can do it.
Well, I guess Not really an agricultural. Okay, all right. Okay. So, what's your address? I don't have any audio here at all. I'm hearing what you're hearing from there.
Over here?
Yeah, it seems like a
Hold on. Are you hearing well?
I am hearing it, Your Honor.
Yeah, do you know, are you okay with them having a seat next to you?
I have no problem with that.
Have a seat next to the city attorney, then I want you to be able to hear what you appear to say.
Yeah, because there's nothing coming from there.
No problem. I
Can
appreciate
I
it.
bring a chair over there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
How long is this?
You know,
Is this as long as this proceeding?
The limit entirety is 38 minutes.
How long?
38 minutes. The portion of the city is about 20 minutes.
Okay, good. All right. Ready, sir? Have you ever ready?
Yes, ready.
Okay. Go ahead and play.
Oh, that's better.
What is it? Good. Okay, all right, where are you staying right now in Vegas?
Oh, for the record, the World War II vet that was referenced there?
Not that. Stop that. Stop it.
Just trying to
I
clarify.
said, this is clarified. Have a seat.
Just trying to clarify.
I said, have a seat. You're wanting something that's helped clarify. He's playing the evidence right now. You're wanting something that's called cross-examination. I know you know this because you know enough that you're talking about it. So, on cross, you can talk about this. Right now, remain seated. You don't say anything unless she has some new objection. Because I already gave you a team objection as well. It's even though you didn't want it. Okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. No, I appreciate that, sir. Go ahead. Okay, all right. Stay in the truck, okay? Don't get out of your truck. You understand? Okay. Stay in the vehicle, okay? Yes, ma'am. Be on your cell phone. That's right now, put your name information. Do it over there, okay? Right. Okay, what is that for? No license or what? Okay. Okay. How long ago was that? Okay, when were you stopped? November? Okay, all right, see you later, sir.
At this point, the city that's showing us the citizens showing anything else important.
I've heard it reasonably clear. Okay, so we'll stop the video for now, and you go on to your examination, are you done?
Just a few more questions.
All right, Mr. Let me give him a chance to move back over to this side.
Thank you, Robert, for becoming a member.
I appreciate that.
I want to get that audio fixed over here.
Well, you know, if you cross to the audio, then we'll see you right over there, so you can leave with them from manager, okay? Okay. All right, everybody's back in place, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Just a couple of brief questions. At the time that you witnessed the defendant driving, or excuse me, holding himself on a twizzy, was the defendant operating his vehicle at that time?
Yes, it was.
I will briefly show these to the defendant. These are documents sent by the DMV to the county from the DMV regarding the license status, as well as one regarding the registration status.
Which DMV is that? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
These are indeed certified copies, but I would object to their introduction for relevance. These dates are so far old that could come off the arc of Noah.
What's your response to relevance? These are old documents.
That's a pre-process,
Well,
The city's response is that these are entirely relevant to the charges of driving without a valid, see, make sure I phrase it correctly, no driver's license.
what's the relevance of these data? What is the relevance of them saying the relevance of the charge?
These
I'm more than conclusory responses.
the stamp and certification?
Yes, the zoning file stamped at June 21st, 2018, and the license.
Good enough, overruled. Go ahead.
Your Honor, may the city approach the clerks?
Go ahead.
I'm not objecting, to be clear, I'm not objecting to the.
You made it original
date. I'm not objecting to the age in which the complies, which is first.
You know what? If the record is clear, you made an objection, makes sense.
That's a pre-trial objection.
Okay. That's what you said.
I know we're talking about the main trial, but to talk about the traffic case, note that despite Blandino getting on his nerves, on Federico's nerves, he's still, you know, making sure that the state's evidence is on the up and up in that traffic case.
You're admonished not to discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding the case or its merits, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet.
And I think we're about to end. It's
Read, watch, or listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about the case. Do any research, such as something dictionaries.
It's about to be 4 o'clock over there, so I think they're wrapping up for the day.
Test the theory of the case, recreate any aspect of the case, or in any other way investigate or learn about the case on your own, or form or express any opinion regarding the case till it's finally submitted to you, or will be recessed for 15 minutes.
Oh, never mind. I guess I thought it was over. 15-minute recess. Perfect. I'll be able to give you guys a. No, guys. I'm sorry. It's only a 15-minute recess. So I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of an assessment of what's going on here. I'll be right back.
Do you want me to do super chats or? Okay, just kidding. No, he's gone. There's a delay on my end. I'm going to just real quick. Okay. So Iron B,
All
thanks
right.
for the $19.99 super chat. Okay, I was going to run through real quick, but I will stop.
I'm back. Anyway, so welcome everybody. So what's going on here is yeah, I'll loosen the tie a bit. Yeah, because I had to rush in here while this thing was ongoing. So yeah, they're not gonna say anything because this is all off the record. So the issue, so this morning, the trial had begun. Our Nevada judges was sitting in on the trial, but did not record the jury selection portion. They're not allowed to, which I think makes sense. Once that was done, the opening arguments were heard, as well as the first state's witness, which was, I believe, a receptionist for Federico's law firm. I can't recall if she was working for the state or for Federico's law firm, private law firm. But there we go. Tomorrow, after that, was the case, was Federico as the star witness, and that's where we started. Live streaming. For those of you who may not, again, for those of you unaware, this all started in what we've been seeing for the last 30 to 45 minutes. This all started in a traffic case where Federico, who was presiding over Blandino's traffic case in 2018. Apparently, things got heated, as you guys were able to see, between Blandino and Federico, which ultimately resulted in Blandino allegedly sending in letters and correspondence with Federico that will ultimately the state believe was grounds for charging Blandino with extortion and impersonating a public officer. Extortion can carry a prison sentence of up to 10 years or a $10,000 fine. Impersonating a public officer has a maximum, is a gross misdemeanor, so it has a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and or a $2,000 fine. What we're seeing right now, again, is the state establishing why we're here in the first place, which is probably looking at the motivations behind Blandino and what he did, as well as, you know, kind of adds to his demeanor in future elements that we're going to, in future witnesses and future testimony that we're going to see in the future. So Jan said there is a minimum in extortion. I believe the minimum in extortion is 1 year in prison. I believe that if I recall, there is a minimum of 1 year. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're currently watching. Now, with that said, I really want you guys to go look at our Nevada judges. They're the ones who are live streaming. Please like and sub to them, because they are the ones who are providing us with this content. Like I said in the comment, I said into the chat, on my private YouTube channel, I became a member of our Nevada judges because I feel like it's the very least I can do to help support them and support this continuing overwatch of the Nevada judiciary. And they're the reason why we're getting this great content. So definitely take a look at that. And there was much rejoicing. And yes, Mad Dog Games makes a point of reference that I believe Blandino tried to serve the first witness, the receptionist, with litigation papers, but was stopped. That's according to the comments from our Nevada judges on their live stream, that during a brief recess, Blandino tried to serve the receptionist with papers, which is amazing. Also, yes, you are correct that Blandino originally started this trial by wearing a red t-shirt that had certain writing on it. I don't know. I'm not going to say what it is perfectly because I don't know what it specifically said, but it had something to do with, had both political and religious writing on it and a red t-shirt. But then during the lunch recess, he changed into his standard attire, which is the suit and ascot. But if you guys go to our Nevada Judges original live stream of this morning, you'll see what he was wearing, and I think they'll likely tell you what was specifically on his t-shirt. But they made him change it. For the life of me, I don't know why he would do that. That sounds very, very stupid, in my opinion. As his attorney, I would have advised him to not do that. I imagine Bateman tried to, but he, you know, Blandino probably didn't listen. But well, whatever. Humongous. Okay, people in the chat are saying that. I don't know for certain. That sounds like what I heard what was said, but I'm not gonna say exactly what it is. But until I see confirmation for myself, you know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna make a pointed effort to my moderators that any troll or fake accounts pretending to be people, whether it be Glenn Serio, BSBT, or this Auditing the USA, if I see these fake ass accounts, I'm gonna ask my mods to not just to just hide them, like block them, period. Don't bother timing them out. I'm getting very, very fucking annoyed by these sock accounts. Goosebump 801. Yes, Bateman put his advice to Kim Blandino on the record before his opening statement. Gotcha. Like, they're not even good troll accounts, and I just don't fucking care. And it's just, every time I see it, it's now annoying the shit out of me. So, any fake pretend accounts are getting an automatic block from me. Mandy, did you already go through the super chats?
And there was much rejoicing.
No, I was starting to. But
Oh, okay.
you want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Screen it, pull it up.
You're allowed to keep BSBT in here unless he goes off topic. If he goes into his own personal bullshit, time him out, but don't block him.
Okay. All Buds No Seeds 420 sent a $2 super chat. Blandino requests an appearance by Winston.
Well, I gave you guys Archer, all right, so deal with it.
And there was much rejoicing.
Okay. Irene B sent a $19.99 super chat. This is great, Artie. About time this is going to trial.
I know, right?
Akira 808 State sent a $4.99 super chat. Great stream, Artie. Thanks for bringing this. Angry Drunk Bumblebee sent a $5.99 super chat. Watching delayed stream. Let's have a drinking game. Every time Kim says I object, drinking time. Remember, if still conscious afterwards, no driving. Get alcohol poisoning that way. I'm not going to read all the new members because I think those were just renewals.
Yeah, those are re-ups. But thank you again to all of you for the re-ups.
Absolutely. Doug Donahue just sent a $10 super chat. You're going to lose your qualified immunity, Artie. Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Oh, and Thea Thomas sent a super chat a couple of days ago, and she said it did not come up. I've looked a couple of times and I don't see it, but Thea, thank you so much for your super chat. All donations are very much appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Does she say when? Like how many days ago?
It was like 3 days ago. She told me on Discord that she sent it, and I have looked and looked and I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
I searched for her name and everything, and I don't see it.
But yeah, I also see friggin' Pope sent the $5 super chat in appreciation of that mod policy. So thank you very much. And yeah, auditing the USA sent a $2 super chat. Love you, Artie. Yeah, thank you, but you're still getting blocked. You're still getting blocked. I'm so unbelievably sick of sock accounts. Woodwork jump scares are on. You just got to pay for it. Jump scares are on this channel. You just got to pay for it though. You can blame those old, well, who was it? Old man, some old man, and a bunch of others who just spammed the fuck out of me with $10 super chats. We got News Now Wyoming, $5. I really do wish Kim was allowed to proceed on his own. Sure, it would be 3 weeks of trial instead of 3 days, but it would have been entertaining. I mean, yeah, but 3 weeks of nothing but Kim Blandino will wear out its welcome very, very fast. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it would be agonizing at the end. Oh, looks like they're starting up again. Cindy Hobbin, $11 for Kitty Treats. Great channel. Thank you very much, Cindy. I'm sure the boys will love it. All right. I think we're back on.
I would just make note of NRS 174.435, which indicates that Mr. Federico is not subject to arrest or to process or anything at this
He's
point.
here pursuant to a subpoena, correct?
That's correct. He's here pursuant to a subpoena.
I didn't see any subpoena in the record, though, Mr. Dickerson.
There's not going to be a subpoena in the record. He's under subpoena.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, no, you cannot serve him with any process while he's in the courthouse.
If I do, I would just here voluntarily.
He tried to serve Federico with papers too.
He's not going to be served with any process while he's in the courthouse. Okay?
He tried to serve Federico with papers.
They brought me into court many years ago, and they just poo-pooed it, so what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander, as per usual.
And I would just note further that the statement about subpoena we sent subpoenas out. So he is under subpoena, and I would just reference that given his current status in the state right now, under the subpoena, he is not subject to service well in the state.
I agree.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, can I have notice of when that subpoena expires then for purposes of this hearing? Because
No.
the federal judge has only given me X amount of days to serve in by different third parties, so I've got to have, here's the court order if you'd like it
All
reviewed.
right, you can bring the panel in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mandy, how is the chat being slowed right now?
I'm going to do it.
Okay. Basically, what the judge said is that Blandino tried to serve Federico with papers, but the judge says you can't serve him since he's here, not necessarily voluntarily. He's under subpoena. So you can't, they're not giving Blandino this opportunity to serve Federico with papers due to the fact that he's here. Yes, Bill, they're, our Nevada judges is making sure that they're not live streaming the jury, which I believe is one of the conditions for them being allowed to live stream the proceedings.
As the state
So we're picking back up. So we're picking back up on page 32 on the last digital video file that we were on. We are currently at 16 minutes and 32 seconds.
I want to refresh so that we're up to speed.
Exhibits 2 and 3.
So, that's okay?
That's correct.
Any objection of them you've already said?
Well, what's the relevance of the document in terms of the charge? He hasn't explained it all.
For maybe people that might-
It's just a conclusory response.
Anything else? Greg, the remitted, what do they get? States, or cities, what?
The city's exhibit 2 and 3, and I
Which
believe...
one, I apologize, which one is 2 and which one's 3?
Thank you, Your Honor. City's exhibit 2 is relating to the driver's license. City's exhibit 3 is relating to the registration.
All right, the minute 2 and 3 is stated by council. You want your copy?
Also,
Are
just...
you still using it?
No, I can approach her.
Because I want that.
However, if, just for city's sanity, let me make sure that I did in fact admit the body cam. If it has not been done so already, the city was to admit the body cam footage as the city's exhibit 1.
I don't remember whether you formally did that, and any objection of the one you stated?
That objection has for relevance and authentication still stands. I mean, the IT person could very well have, gone through that. So as a matter of law, I think it hasn't been properly authenticated because the chain of custody has been tampered with.
Authenticity and relevance is noted for the record of the rule. It's the body cam is admitted.
Yeah, I forgot. You guys can hear me
Is it one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
stream sniping on that channel right now. Sorry.
Anything else for this witness?
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination, if any?
We need a recess prior to cross-examination.
No recess, there's no more than anything except doing this trial right now.
I'm understanding objection.
Again, there's no more recess or anything else right now. As everybody's witnessing this courtroom, it's time for cross-examination. And I bet 9 out of 10 people here understand what I'm saying. So I suspect you're one of those 9. You want me to explain further what cross-examination is? Because you said you read thousands of books, you read more case law than most lawyers. Do you want me to explain something, or are you good to go?
I have a document there.
No. Again, cross-examination, we are here. You are present, the city's president or president. I'm done with this game. We are going to finish this. Are you kidding me?
You see the trooper's face is like, oh my.
Or you're not going to cross. Anything else is going to be contempt 25 days in jail. So.
The trooper's face is like, I don't want to be here right now.
The officer's here. Cross or no cross?
And there was much rejoicing.
Cross.
Recess to think about this?
Okay. That is contempt.
Thank you, Gary Street, for the £3 super chat.
Suspend it right now, though. So he's got 25 days contempt. I'm not going to remand him right now. We'll see how he acts during the rest of this trial. So I hold you in contempt. You got 25 days. I probably could have done that 10 times by now, but I've exercised restraint. 25 days, and I hate doing that. Especially as what you would call traffic courts not as important as the other ones, which I think it is important. This is no joke. So, let's try this again. Cross-examination of this officer, yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. Officer, step down. Excuse you might need to again.
Your Honor.
You know, I'd like to, if it's okay, I'd like to have you, just in case the defendant chooses to call you, would like to call you since you are already here. Very nice to stay, please, I appreciate that. Okay. City rest?
City does rest.
You're not going anywhere?
I'm just curious whether the court wants, I don't know if the troop needs to stay inside or out of court for other witness purposes.
That's a good point. And officer, if you could just remain outside in case you recall as a witness, I appreciate that. Just hang out and do whatever you want to do, but don't go anywhere, please. Thank you. All right. The city has rested, and I know you know the next card. I want to ask, does the defense want you put on a case? In other words, the city has the burden of proof, they have the proof beyond a reasonable doubt the elements of all of the claims that are against you. you have the opportunity to either cross witnesses, put on your own witnesses, and even waive your right to remain silent and testify if you wish. You do not need to do so because the city has the burden of proof, so you can just sit there, you didn't have to say a word this whole time, and if they don't prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, then there's an acquittal. So, at this point, would you like to testify on your own behalf?
No.
Okay. Would you like to put on any witnesses? Call any witnesses, including that officer back in the stand, because he's still here because I asked him to stay. Listen.
Do I have to answer yes or no or yes or no? Yes.
You're already going beyond yes or no. Yes or no? Would you like to call the officer in your case? Okay. And do you want to call any other witnesses?
No.
Would you like to present any exhibits to the court, whether it's self-authenticating documents or otherwise?
No.
Okay. So then does the defense rest?
There was much rejoicing.
Okay. So, I think I've covered everything you could possibly do. Oh, do you want to make a oral motion based upon the city's evidence? That's not the main motion. Yes or no? Is it yes or no?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Would you like to present an oral motion based upon what the city has presented us from?
Can I do a written motion?
No. So you can do yes or no too.
Do I have any time for argument?
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
This is still your
Oh,
time.
no.
This is the spotlight is on you. This is your possible case in chief.
You said an oral motion, can be an oral argument or objection?
No, if you want to make a motion, for example, since there are in pro se, so I can do this without the attorney getting too mad, motion for dismissal because they haven't met the burden of proof, that kind of thing on certain charges. I mean, that happens sometimes in trials or in preliminary hearings when dealing with felonies and those misdemeanors.
So with an oral motion, I get to argue facts as well as law?
No. What you're going to argue is that there's a problem with what they presented so far, they being the city. Would you like to do that?
So that could include facts and argument?
That they presented so far.
Yes.
Which is obviously the officer and the three exhibits.
Oh, well,
It's not argument, it's a matter of is there a
motion,
motion?
I don't think I could do it.
Fair enough. Okay. So with that, ready for closing argument?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You need to outline so there's multiple citations here. So you need to outline them for the court. So, whenever you're ready, and you get the officer back here, hold on a second, he's done.
All right, Your Honor, the current case has 5 charges pending: unlawful use of cell phone or handheld device, driving without a valid license, none of that license plates within 30 days of residency, none of that a driver's license within 30 days, and no insurance security. This court has heard testimony from Chief Faulkner that he made the stop because he initially saw this defendant driving, holding his cell phone up to his head. The officer made the stop, approached the defendant on the passenger side, began to ask him questions. As the court has not only heard the officer's testimony, but also seen the body cam footage showing that this defendant, not only did the officer see it, but the defendant admitted that he was in fact holding his cell phone, using it as a radio. On top of that, the officer asked this defendant to provide things such as ID, specifically valid driver's license, registration for the vehicle, and insurance. At no point was any insurance provided to the officer. What was provided instead of a valid driver's license was an Arizona ID card, and the defendant mentioned that he had some form of international driver's license, which was not provided to the officer. On top of that, the registration, no proof of registration for the state of Nevada was provided. Instead, apparently these were plates from Montana. Your Honor,
Let me just ask you, on count C, the C and D counts, no Nevada license placed within 30 days of residency, no Nevada driver's license within 30 days of residency. I do not recall anything about how long he's been in Nevada. So what I want to hear is about that. Refresh my memory, if it exists.
Certainly, Your Honor. The evidence before this court...
Not to mention, you can argue about any other things, but those are 2 things that I want to hear from you, and then if the defendant chooses to speak and close.
Certainly, Your Honor. The evidence before this court proving that he did not obtain these things within the 30 days required is, 1, he admitted that he's picked up charges, he has pending charges from North Las Vegas. He picked these up back in November. On top of that, the officer noticed mail being addressed to this defendant with a Nevada address. He
don't think at the mail that I heard anything about what the date of the, I mean, it could have been the day before though.
There was no testimony given about a date on the
I don't
letter.
want to hear about the letters that are not relevant, because we don't know, and we didn't hear anything about when the mail, I mean, it was standing, what do you call it, the postal stamp, or I didn't hear anything about that at all. So I don't know how the mail's going to be relevant here. Go ahead. At least from what I heard, and I didn't see it, so go ahead.
Sure.
I heard the admission, but I didn't hear the mail, so go ahead. Anything else?
With brief indulgence,
And there was much rejoicing.
I don't believe there was any further evidence regarding those two subjects, Your Honor.
Right, basically the admission of the Northtown case, been back in November, and it's still in town, right? Correct. Understand. Okay, go on. I apologize for interrupting. I just didn't want to forget to inquire.
Certainly, Your Honor. No problem.
Give you guys an opportunity to say your defendant. You covered the insurance, all things a cell phone, and you argued about the valid driver's license, and what I inquired about, 30-day residency.
Correct, Your Honor. Regarding the final bit about the cell phone, Your Honor, is that the way the statute is written, it is very clear that a cell phone cannot be used, this is from NRS 484B.165, that it cannot be used.
Go ahead and read it.
Certainly, Your Honor.
For the defendant, too.
This is under subsection 1. Except as otherwise provided in the section, a person shall not, while operating a motor vehicle on a highway in this state, A, manually type or enter text into a cellular telephone or a handheld wireless communications device, or send or read data using any such device to access or search the internet or to engage in non-voice communications with another person, including without limitation texting, electronic messaging, and instant messaging. In this circumstance, Your Honor, the defendant was using the cell phone to access data, to access the internet, to play this internet radio as he testified, or excuse me, not testified to, as he stated on the body cam footage that the court observed. The city has met its burden beyond a reasonable doubt on all of these charges, Your Honor, but given the court's questioning, certainly without a doubt in the city's mind, it has met its burden on charges A, B, and E, unlawful use of cell phone or handheld device, driving without valid license, and no insurance security. The court has expressed some concerns regarding the C and D charges, but the residency of
There is not concerned. Go ahead.
fair enough, Your Honor, I apologize for that mischaracterization.
I'm not prejudging, I just wanted to make sure that I heard about those things. That's what I said.
The city does believe it has met its burden beyond reasonable doubt on those two charges as well, based on a number of factors, but most importantly, the fact that this defendant readily admitted he's had charges pending since November in Las Vegas, and on top of that, Your Honor, while the court has stated that the letters are not relevant, certainly the court can give them whatever probative value the court does determine that they deserve, and those letters did show an address for Nevada. The time frame is not clear, but did show an address for the state of Nevada, Your Honor. With that, the city asks that this court find the defendant guilty on all 5 counts.
Defense has been closed. This is your time to make argument. You've argued a lot today, but this is the true time for argument.
Well, there's a purpose to that.
There you go. Hold on a second. Hold on. This is the time. This is the time.
All right.
For closing argument. Does the defense wish to make closing argument? Yes or no? No. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Let me just inquire further. Are you sure there is no closing argument on behalf of the defense? Yes or no?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Thanks. All right, defendant, then, I find him guilty on all counts. Unlawful use of a cell phone, or handheld device, driving without a driver's license, no driver's license with 30 days residency, no Nevada driver's license in 30 days, and no proof of insurance. Argument on sentencing.
Now, the standard fines for these different charges would be on the A charge, $115.
With the points?
Correct, that would be with 4 points, Your Honor. On the B charge, driving without valid license, the standard fine is $478. The no valid license plate within 30 days. I just want to make sure I don't miss the point of court. That fine would be $208.
Well, these are standard.
These are the standard.
And that's all you're asking for is the standard. You're not asking for like $1,000 for each one, anything like that.
Certainly not, Your Honor. Just the standard fines, to believe that's appropriate.
Okay.
All of these are first-time charges for the first occurrences for these charges.
What about the Nevada driver's license in 30 days?
That standard fine is $208. We stand fine on the insurance charge of $750.
And the only points, the only point one, I believe, is the cell phone, is the point violation.
That's correct.
Only moment before I ask the defendant, 2002. Looks like the defendant's got charges going back, interestingly, in Nevada. Just telling me that's right. Driver's license, it's same charges. Some of them were dismissed though.
The city
I'm
did.
just I'm talking out loud for the record, I'm looking at the scope now, since we're on the sentencing phase. Most of these were dismissed, though, I don't care about those. Insurance, seatbelts, reckless driving, found guilty. Okay. I'm taking a look at your scope, sir, that's what I was doing, I do that out loud, just so that it was a clear record. Would you like to present anything as far
This is my
as-
last, I think, s'mores that I have with me.
Sentencing, any kind of mitigating factors why you shouldn't have the minimums imposed? I don't know that I would have been in the discretion to not impose the minimum, because sometimes I ask for more, just these are general guidelines, and all that's all I'm supporting. Well, again, this is where we do things now, unfortunately. Would you like to present anything as a mitigating factor at all, as far as the sentencing phase? Okay. Let me ask a question.
You said you found me in contempt when I was suspended pending my...
We're not talking about that right now. You're in contempt, there's 25 days hanging over your head.
Right.
What I do with that is my discretion. Let's finish this up first.
Oh, I see, okay.
All right.
No, then I'm...
Okay. So when the sentences the sentences do include...
It's pretty good.
On the A count, 115.
It's like a...
Violation. On B, $478.
I would say it's
C, $208.
a less heavy chocolate porter.
On E, $750. With that, do you have the money to pay today to close out your case?
No.
Okay. And will you have that money within 30 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you, I don't know what your work situation is, would you like the work program as a referral to work this out? Like community service, or financially do you want to?
Is community service an option?
If you qualify. I'm just inquiring right now.
I'll be interested in that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. And we can refer him over later when we get the sentence. And by the way, just want to let you know, for those who think, the judge can inquire about policies and procedures of the court administration because the staff is not making the decision for the judge. I'm just bringing some other parameters. Just want to let you know since you had a problem.
I don't think it's smoke. No, Matthew, it's not smoky. It's not.
Typically, for administration,
I know what you mean by smoky beer.
right or left.
This is not smoky beer. It's just
Hey, just want to let you know.
chocolate and marshmallow ale. I promise.
So with that, okay, so we're going to refer him out for senior qualified in the work program, which is community service. And I'm not going to impose any of that time. What I'm going to do is the 25 days, we're going to make sure you comply with the sentencing mechanisms. Hopefully you comply, and we'll leave this pending. So you don't contempt you in 25 days. I'm not going to, certainly not going to put you in jail today because you are sentenced and you have other things. Do you understand what's going on here?
No, well,
In other words, you need to comply, either work off the time, work off the money, or pay the money.
that's what you mean by sentencing guidelines? You said sentencing guidelines.
I don't think I said that. Bottom line is you've been sentenced, and what I'm saying is the 25 days hanging over your head is a good incentive for you to get this get yourself taken care of, or whatever else you don't need to do, appeal, or whatever you're going to do in this case. If you're going to do work program and time to get it done, and that's great, and then we're done, and then there's no more contempt. That will be, we call it revoked, and it will never exist as long as this case goes away cleanly and you don't screw up and complete the requirements here.
I don't understand that. You said that...
And I subliminally
I mean, my behavior...
whisper for him to order the Chinese food.
Now you're saying it's behavior even as...
Well, the bottom line is your 25 days. I can snap my fingers and say I'm going to impose it today. Remember, I'm not going to do that in this case. As you say, it's a traffic matter, okay? So I'm not going to do that today. You have a chance to complete the requirements of sentencing, knowing that you're in contempt for the 25 days and what you're going to do with the pendency of this case. So as long as you complete the requirements of the sentence, you're going to be good. It's kind of like a probation requirement. In other words, hey, if you screw up during the pendency of this case, then you have 25 days to do it. That's what it is.
Well, that's showing...
Yes, okay. We have the record, here, so I'm sure. Unless it's a problem. But,
No, I meant on the clerk's paperwork, or, yeah, they don't
the bottom line is, we know you're going to complete the requirements, and you'll be done. Right? You plan on obeying the sentence? Yes or no?
I'll do my best.
That's all I can ask. I appreciate that.
As their plans are sometimes. I could drop dead and out the doors.
You know, I certainly hope nothing happens to you, but you have a good day. We're all set in this case. Officers, excuse me. Yep. Have a good day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Interesting.
Every day is interesting. Every day above ground is a good day, right, sir? As long as you can argue with that. All right. Take care. All right.
All right, sir. All those digital videos we watched were part of State's Exhibit 32. Were those all fair and accurate depictions of the traffic trial and all the proceedings surrounding it involving Mr. Blandino on August 28, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. And now, you found him guilty of several traffic violations, correct?
Yes.
As well as found him in contempt, right?
Yes.
He sentenced him to a fine. Is that right?
Fine that could convert to community service, we call it a work program.
Okay. So he could, instead of paying the fine, he could have done community service, right?
Right. If somebody doesn't have financial resources, then let them work off. They don't work and they can work, let them work it off. That's community service.
And then, just to clarify, that 25 days, that's 25 days in jail for the contempt time, is that right?
That's correct.
You indicated that's suspended.
Yes, I wasn't going to stick him in jail for what he did.
And you indicated that he just has to either pay the fines or do the community service, just do what he needs to do in the case, and as long as he complies with that, he's not going to jail.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, that decision that you've made is final in the Las Vegas Municipal Court, is that right?
Yes.
The defendant still would have a right to appeal all those decisions?
I believe so.
And those appeals would go up to another court, right?
Yes.
The district court, is that in fact?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not a part of that.
Okay. And in fact, were you at all a part of Mr. Blandino's case here, this traffic case, after that day of August 28, 2018?
No.
Okay. So, some time passes on to September 2018. Do you have any involvement with Mr. Blandino?
None.
October 2018? Do you have any?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. November of 2018, do you have any involvement with Mr. Blandino?
No.
What about December of 2018?
No.
Okay. January of 2019, do you have any involvement with Mr. Blandino?
No.
What about February of 2019, do you have any involvement with Mr.
I
Blandino?
don't believe so.
March 2019?
Nothing.
Okay. And then we get to April of 2019, specifically drawing your attention to April 8th of 2019. Do you remember that day?
Yes, I do.
On that particular day, do you recall whether or not you were working?
Yes, I was. I was working at my private office.
And what's the firm name that you work for?
Right now, it's called Olson, Cannon, Gormley, and Saversky, but there was a name Angulo in it before, and it's, law firms morph over time as people come and go. I'm not sure what the name was then, but there was Olson, Cannon, Gormley, and Saversky, but there might have been Angulo too.
Okay, so at the time, Olson, Cannon, Gormley, Angulo, and Saversky, that sounds about right?
Yes.
And you guys had a law office up at 9950 West Cheyenne here in Las Vegas, Clark County, Nevada?
It's the firm's building, yes.
Is that where you were working out of on April 8, 2019?
Yes.
Sometime in the mid-morning, approximately around 10 a.m., Does something occur that's out of the ordinary for your person here?
Yes.
What is it?
Either I got a phone call or I got an email from the gal sitting at the receptionist desk. Let me know there was an individual there and wanted to talk to me. I don't remember much else, and I don't remember if it was an email or a telephone call. And then I believe she inquired further, and I had no clue who this person was. I didn't recognize the name. I mean, it's been quite some time, and for me, thousands of cases ago. And
What was the name that the receptionist gave you?
Kim Blandino.
Okay. And so now here we are, August 8, 2019. Initially, that doesn't ring a bell for you?
No.
And just to confirm, was Ashley Williams the receptionist at that time?
Yes, I believe so.
And so she's contacting you, and what does that put you on notice of?
Somebody just trying to talk to an attorney, and it's not really our practice. I probably had 5 or 10 things going on at once. It's kind of the way it is civil litigation between your emails and your telephone calls, and you might have some documents that you're working on. You're just kind of multitasking, and I said, I don't know this person, I don't have any appointments, so, just handle it. I mean, I'm doing something else right now.
So
Concentrating.
you didn't have any appointment for an individual named Kim Blandino?
Absolutely not.
Most of the time, is it most of the time that when you have somebody come to your office, that you have an appointment?
There's an appointment or a telephone call, and if somebody is coming in unannounced, it's somebody that I already have a relationship with. In other words, a client or maybe opposing counsel, but it's alpha. Most things you're notified of, and if people want to speak with you, then you make an appointment. It's because you have other things, and or you could be in court, you could be anywhere as a civil litigator.
So, do you become aware that Kim Blandino is in fact in the building and looking for you?
Yes.
And what do you do at that point in time?
Well, I believe Ashley said, this guy's not leaving. I believe she said that she was scared. So what I did is I got up and a few offices away from the foyer area. This is on the second floor. The foyer area is open to the second floor, so the receptionist is not that far away. I go out of my office, I start walking down the hall, and I hear the voice that we all just heard on the audio. And I'm just like, oh, it's coming. I go over, I kind of stand back away. It's quite a wide hallway, and there's, I want to say smoke, but it's a glass that's got some coverings on it so that you can't see up if somebody's standing away from the edge of the second floor looking over to the foyer. And I just kind of listen in and try to keep an eye on things at a distance, seeing what's going on.
And can you in fact see the defendant?
Yeah, see in and out of my view, and I didn't want him to lure him to my presence and have him do something else, or go into the elevator and come up the stairs. It's not like we have security or anything.
And you indicated that you recognized his voice as you were approaching.
Oh yeah.
So, it sounds like you're on the second level and you're looking down into an open foyer area?
Yes, just standing back where I could move out of sight if he were to look up.
Okay.
I was just kind of watching to make sure she was okay. I had to call 911. Never happened before. I didn't know really what to do. It was almost a panic, especially when I recognized that voice.
Okay. And the area that you're looking down into is on the first floor?
Yes, sir.
And is that the receptionist area where Ashley was sitting?
I can see her as well, like a little bit, because she's tucked away, but you can see the interaction.
Okay. And as you're watching this interaction, you kind of indicated that you were concerned already. What is it that you're thinking at this point in time?
Well, out of all the years that I've done this, I've never ever had a defendant show up looking for me as Judge Michael Federico. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm on the bench and doing
And there was
my
much
job.
rejoicing.
I'm no longer Judge anybody. I'm just another attorney working, and I was quite alarmed that somebody would actually seek me out to talk about something like that. It's just surreal.
So, do you stay there and watch the interaction?
Yes, I believe it was towards the end, because I think there was a decent gap in time between when she told me that who it was, and I said, well, handle it, I'm not gonna be seeing this person, and then her saying that he's not leaving. I can't tell you how long I was observing, it was probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay,
I think he was there for over 20 though.
okay. And what do you see Mr. Blandino doing?
The only thing I really remember, other than hearing his voice, I don't remember the substance of what he was saying, but he did ask for paper, and he did start writing something. I think he was doing it on the pony wall, and the pony wall would be, like if the receptionist is there, and this is the pony wall, and then he's standing here, he had his paper on the pony wall. Pretty sure that's the way it went down.
Okay. I have here in my hand what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 2 and its contents, 2A and 2B. You see what I'm holding up here in my
I'm
hand?
familiar with that document.
What is this document?
That was the document he drafted and left for me, and ultimately was timestamped, I believe, by Ashley, because that's the way law firms do documents when they come in to get timestamped, just to cover themselves, because everything is under deadlines. Or for the most part, things are under deadlines, so the timestamp thing, we know when we got a date stamp to.
Okay.
I believe it's timestamped, it should be both, one stamp.
So, showing you here, first 2B. Is this a sticky note?
That was from him as well. Yes.
Okay, and what does that say?
Appears to say, Michael Federico, please call me when convenient. I have the jabs.
Okay. And now, showing you 2A. Did you, from where you were standing, see Mr. Blandino writing on the green piece of paper, this
Oh, yeah.
green piece of paper?
Yes.
And do you have an approximation of approximately how much time he was writing on this paper?
All I can say is probably took him more than a minute and less than 10, but, I'd really be guessing.
All right, it's done.
So
Chinese food.
if we look at this particular
Sesame chicken with
document,
pork fried rice.
up in the right-hand corner, we see a stamp. Is that right?
That's correct.
Is that date and time stamp from your law firm you discussed?
It looks so, yes.
And what does that say?
It says April 8, 2019, 10:31 a.m.
Okay. And is this the firm name?
At that time, yes.
Okay. Olson, Cannon, Gormley, Angulo, and Staversky.
Yes.
Just when we're talking about that, who are...
I should probably do push-ups. Alpha, you're right. I probably should.
That would be the board of directors.
For the firm?
Yeah, basically the bosses.
Okay.
The combination platter usually comes with a spring roll.
Manage your firm?
Yeah, that's Olson, Jim Olson. He was the managing partner at the time. It's now co-shared, but they all make decisions together, like hiring, firing, things like that. They have meetings just like a corporation would.
Okay. And then next to that, at the top of the page, what does it say here?
It appears to say Kim Blandino, and then his email and his telephone number.
Okay, and what is that email?
Kim
I agree, Deacon.
43792@earthlink.net, it looks like.
Okay. It is the phone number 702-219-5657?
Yes.
And then is this document directed to you?
Yeah, yes, it says to Michael Federico, Pro Tem Judge, Pro Tem Judge, and then it looks like in parentheses, alternate judge, City of Las Vegas.
Okay.
So it's to me, but it's not in not at the courthouse.
And it's to you in your capacity as a pro tem judge?
Yes.
And in your capacity as a pro tem judge for the City of Las Vegas, you're being paid by the City of Las Vegas to do that job?
Yes.
So my understanding is what they're testifying to is the letter that Blandino sent to
Yes.
Federico.
The City of Las Vegas is a political subdivision of the state of Nevada, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, have you ever gotten a handwritten note at your private law office from anybody who's appeared in front of you as a pro tem judge directing mail to you as a pro tem judge?
Never. Never that I'm aware of.
Now, we go down further here. All of these words in this handwriting on this page, were these all from the defendant himself?
Yes.
And can you read that for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Sure. I am ready to begin filing my complaint against you for your, quote, activities, end quote, on the bench in courtroom 1C last year. Giving me 10 seconds to get a drink of water, risking safety of others, numerous violations of the code. I am required by my religious beliefs and practices to give you an opportunity to negotiate a settlement. Please let me know within the next 10 days. My last 2 complaints resulted in letters of caution to the judges. Please don't take this matter lightly. I came personally to your office as a good faith gesture, and then it looks like it's maybe signed King Blandino and then his telephone.
That's the same telephone number we saw at the top.
I believe so. I don't see the top of it.
Yeah? Let's just go ahead and pull that out.
Guys, I should be playing Elden Ring right now,
5656.
but here I am, watching a trial live.
I believe it's the same thing.
Okay.
Same number, excuse me.
And there was much rejoicing.
But you know what? I'm just glad to be here with you guys. I love y'all. It's probably the beer
So,
talking.
You observed Mr. Blandino writing this letter, and what happened?
You could have embraced it
after
right
that?
there, but you had to blame it on beer.
I just couldn't believe what had happened. Contacted my spouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Told my assistant. Told my spouse that we would talk about it later on and figure out what, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking, okay, either go get an order of protection, or in the alternative, I should contact the police, maybe contact, the city attorney. I don't know what to do. I've never had this happen before. I was just basically a panic
And there was
citizen.
much
at that point.
rejoicing.
Thank you to all of you new members. We'll be formally thanking you
I mean, that's,
in the next lull
just doesn't happen.
in the action.
At least that was my mental process at that point.
Did you
Parasocial bros.
watch
Yeah.
the defendant
Right on, Ryan.
finish that letter?
Yeah, I actually watched him walk out the door, and then I ran back to my office, and I believe I took a picture of him getting in the truck of Montana plates that kind of matched up with the video. I didn't know at the time, but he had out-of-state plates.
Okay.
Older model truck. I remember that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure he was gone, because I'm thinking, is he gonna be waiting outside the door for me? I mean, what's going on here? I have, he totally ambushed during work mode. It's been, I thought it was like at least a year. You have your
Thanks, Juan.
life, you just kind of move on day to day.
Ringing endorsement.
And that's what I did. That was my response.
And so then after that, did you go down and talk to Ashley?
I don't know for sure if I talked to her further that day, other than maybe to say, I told her at one point, sorry. I think she was just filling in. Didn't really know her. I think she was just filling in. She had a different position at the firm.
And did you get the note, this one that we just looked at?
Oh, yeah, I ran back and went down to talk to her. Yeah, I thought we were past that. Yeah,
So-
I grabbed that, and then I made a copy of it. Left the copy and took the original home, or vice versa.
And so in getting that note and reading it, what did it make you think was happening here in this situation?
Seemed like somebody's coming for me. I had to be concerned. Somebody came to the private law office at unannounced, which nobody does, way out on the northwest side of town. He's writing threats to me. Nothing sounded.
Yeah, I do that with my brother. Or I have done it with my brother.
I'm not talking to any defendant.
I get so shit-faced.
What does he want me to do? Change your
That-
ruling or something? I'm like, it's so out of the box as far as ethics. That was my mental.
Despite he and I having
And
so much
you indicated that you notified
animosity growing up,
you had worries related
when we get
to
shithoused,
family and
I'm like, I fucking love you, man.
Well, I didn't
You're
know
my
if
brother.
I was gonna show up at the house or whatever. We have 6 children.
So proud of my brother.
At that point, they were all
Shout out to you.
14 and
We
under.
need to do another collab on Monday.
Family protected. Somebody's coming.
My
out.
brother and I.
have to figure out what to do, properly.
Okay. Did you also notify the municipal court?
I believe it was the next day. It was either later that day, but I think it was the next day after I probably talked thoroughly with my wife about what to do. Because it was going to be either the police law enforcement or just try to get an order of protection, you know, I knew based upon my previous experiences that a protective order probably wouldn't issue for just one event. That wouldn't be considered probably stalking or harassment just one time. So the next day, I contacted a bunch of different.
You're my boy, Blue. Ha!
Municipal court, in other words,
Fucking great movie, old
places
school.
that I sit, contacted at least two and let them know. One of them knew who he was. I believe I contacted administration. I'm not positive. It's been quite a long time ago. And then because the Metro Northwest Area Command was right next door to where the office is, that next day, I think it was around 10, 11 o'clock a.m., I went and made a police report.
So that would have been April 9th, 2019?
Yes, the day after he showed up.
Okay.
I'm fairly sure of that date.
And so there, next morning, you file a police report with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, after that, another
Again,
event comes up. Is that right on?
I mentioned this in the Al Nevada Judges stream. This, what you're seeing now,
What was going on during the early
is your typical trial.
day hours
Not your Law and Order bullshit.
of 2019 in your life?
Not your made-for-TV bullshit.
Filling in.
This is a typical trial. Monotonous, but
In the
important.
Las Vegas Municipal Court?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm
And,
pretty sure it was community court, yes, municipal court.
okay, and just to be clear, the Las Vegas Municipal Court, is that located here in the building that we're currently in right now?
I'm not sure if it's still on the first floor, but 1C would have been the first floor, and then I think there's A, B, C, and D under the escalators. That's where those are.
So, well, today it might not be there. Back in April of 2019, it was here.
right on, Deacon.
At
Salute.
the Regional Justice Center in Clark County, Nevada.
Yes, I remember specifically because they had unusual chambers where, used to be back here, we had to go down the hall to get chambers for that courtroom.
Okay. So, you're again working as a pro tem judge, sitting on the bench and hearing cases, is that right?
Yes,
Now, that morning was the defendant, Kim Blandino, on your calendar with a case to be heard?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And did you hear the whole calendar that day?
As far as I know, I heard the calendar, yes.
Okay. And what was it that was out of the ordinary that happened while you were working as a judge that day?
The defendant showed up to this courtroom that I very randomly would be at because I'm a full-time attorney working for those partners' names that you saw earlier. He showed up in court, and I didn't know for sure if he had a case or not. He came in and kind of marched up to front and plopped down right in front row. And that was within a couple of weeks after delivering that crazy letter to me.
Okay. That event too was also captured on video, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, guys. All right.
Fair to say that once you saw him in the court, you ordered him to get out of the court.
They're reciting the video that I showed to you guys in one of my Kim Blandino videos.
Somebody's trying to extort me, and then they're coming into my court. Yeah, I just needed to get out of there before I, did something that wouldn't have been good, you know what I mean? Something happened outside the courtroom, so it's not like I'm going to hold him in contempt and throw him in jail, try to punish him, or try to get backyard justice. It's just a matter of, hey, you got to go. It was almost like panic sitting as I was talking to the defendant.
Okay.
I couldn't believe that he found me in court and is going to be in my courtroom again.
What they're talking about is when Blandino showed up.
And here, State's Exhibit 31, which is...
Oh, they're gonna show it. They're gonna show it. They're gonna show it.
Placing that into the computer at this point in time.
Somebody might have whispered that it was him. They whispered his name because people had known what had happened at my office at the municipal courts. I think somebody whispered, like the clerk or something, that's, and they got my attention first.
This was either in, I think this was in my part 1 of the Kim Blandino saga. This was in part 1.
Exhibit 31, looking at the contents here. A single digital video file that is entitled as follows: 25-04-2 2009-09-47-39_B. I am going to play the digital contents of that file.
Yep, there it is.
3 seconds in, I'm taking it back to the start. In seeing those 3 seconds, do you recognize this particular video footage?
Oh, yes.
And is this fair and accurate video footage of the events that occurred in the Las Vegas Municipal Court courtroom on April 25th, 2019 with Mr.
Yes.
Blandino?
If this is the one that's about a minute long, yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it from this point.
Driving has $85 warrant. Let me ask you, sir, how much does he owe?
He has it presently, at this point, just.
Mr. Blandino, that's you, right?
Yes, sir, you're addressing me?
I am addressing you. Let me get a picture of you here. Now, you came to my private office about something. Because of that, you can't be in this courtroom right now. So you have to go.
No, I don't think that's true.
All right, well, I'm ordering you to leave this courtroom right now.
Okay.
If you don't get out within 10 seconds, okay, 10 seconds, you're gonna be held in contempt.
Out of order.
All right. Good morning. Don't stop people.
Bam.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of those events on April 25th, 2019? Now, at this point in time, as you sit there in court, you were hearing some other person's case, is that right?
I was trying to, and the pauses, I don't usually pause too much, we're just kind of rolling the calendar. Those pauses, because I'm trying to maintain my poise, my composure, realizing that this guy that came to my office a couple weeks ago, I was in my courtroom, what to do, that was kind of me panicking on the bench, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So,
And as of approximately 16 days earlier, there is, as you know, an open criminal investigation going on into the events concerning this one.
yes, I was informed by some officer.
Now, we're right here at 5 o'clock in the day. The time permitting is not on our side for finishing your testimony, but just a foreshadowing of events. Later on in the day, on April 25th, 2019, does Mr. Blandino come to your law office yet again?
That afternoon, he came into my office with, I guess, a pre-prepared set of documents.
Okay. Your Honor, given the time constraints, we're willing to break here.
Okay. This time we are going to break for the evening. During this recess, we are admonished not to discuss or communicate with anyone, including your fellow jurors, in any way regarding your case or appearance, either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media, or read, watch, or listen to any news or media accounts or commentary about the case, do any research, such as consulting dictionaries, using the internet, using reference materials, make any investigation.
Oh, I think that now we're all over.
Read any aspect of the
Right.
case or in any other way, investigate or learn about the case on your own.
5 o'clock, right?
Any opinion regarding the case until it's finally submitted to you will be in recess till tomorrow morning at
Yep.
9 a.m. You will come to court.
Recess till tomorrow morning.
We'll bring you in when we're ready.
Thank you. All right, next break for the juror. Please leave your notebook.
Again, everybody, shout out to our Nevada judges. Please go give them a like and sub for all the work that they do. Yeah. So we're gonna stop here. Yep, and they finished. We're gonna stop here. I might actually go on a separate stream because I mean, fuck it, why not? So we're gonna stop here. I won't be able to obviously live stream in the middle tomorrow morning because I'm gonna be in, at work. So I'll be listening in. I might have to end up doing a recap. I'll try to reach out to Mike, and Nat and see if they're willing to do like a collaboration recap of day 2 of the trial. So I'll have to work on that one myself. But I'm gonna stop here and then do a reset live stream. There's actually a video I want us to get through because it's a wild one. It's one of Van's latest videos. So I'm probably going to end up doing Elden Ring late at night, so who knows. But I want to actually go live on this channel here, but we'll get through it anyway. So thank you guys again. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes.
So we're going to
Super
stop here.
chats.
Oh, yeah, and also super chats, but I'm getting feedback
in the middle
Mandy.
Tomorrow morning because I'm going to be at work.
There you go. Super chats. Super chats.
Okay, I'm not really sure where we left off.
We left
I think
off
Doug Donahue at $10. I'm almost positive.
Gary Street. I mentioned Gary Street. So, News Now Wyoming.
News Now Wyoming for $5.
$10.
News Now Wyoming for $10.
Yeah.
Okay. So News Now Wyoming for $10. Ordering Grant 6 motion to extend time is the further order that the plaintiff Kim Blandino must serve defendant Michael Federico on or before 3/22/22, 221 CV 01262.
That sounds like the civil case that Blandino tried to serve on Federico today, that he wasn't able to. So.
Okay. Gary Street sent a $6.78 super chat, which I've never seen before.
Which is probably, I think it's like 10 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Or 5 pounds. Or maybe it was 5 pounds. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gary. News Now Wyoming sent a $10 super chat. Okay, I lied. This Fed lawsuit is gold. Kim's calling by his creator to investigate judicial corruption, assisted by prosecuting Kim for exercising his religious beliefs. Thank you, News Now Wyoming. Ed 2276 First Amendment Law sent a $10 super chat. The All Fish became a member. Thank you. Jill in DC became a member. Thank you so much. Matthew Moffat became a member. Thank you so much. Joanne Sal sent a $2 super chat. Love your streams.
Thank you very much. All right, guys. I'm going to stop here, reset it for, we're going to look at a latest video from Van for a particular reason. I'll let you guys know when it's done. So I will see you guys in about 10 minutes. All right. Maybe even less, about 5 minutes from now. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you again. Adios.